Right, how's it going, everyone? Brian Harvey here. So, things have got quite strange over the past few days. I've been getting a call from someone who claims to be an ex-policeman, a guy called Gary Waterman. Now, I did talk to this guy, I don't know, a month ago, something like that. He was putting calls into Nikki and saying, I really need to talk to Brian. He claims to be a Christian and a police whistleblower, and has been doing a lot of work with regards to Companies House and the fraud therein within, not just a fake company on an empty address on Finchley Road, which is quite a famous case. Did talk to a guy called Gordon Bowden a few years ago in 2018, but he turned out to be a friend of Ian Puddick's, which I've explained all about in another video, who Ian Puddick is. I will go into it again all in some depth in the future, but for now I'll leave that there. But I suspect that this has got something to do with Ian Puddick also, with this Gary Waterman issue, the ex-copper. Now, he claims to have been talking to this girl Julia, who claims to be Madeleine McCann. Do I believe it? Fucking, of course not. And I've told him that. But then he's called me back and, well, I'll let him tell you. I'll let him tell you. So here's a couple of the messages that I've received, right? So I'm just going to let these play back to back and let you hear them.
Hi Brian, hope you're okay. We've just held a conference call. I'm pretty sure the key that triggered everything for you was that conversation with John Harris and about the Destiny Stone and Edinburgh. That is key to all of this. It really is. So I think that you need to realise how important that is. There's loads of evidence now coming in suggesting the significance of Edinburgh and King Arthur's seat that overlooks it, and King Arthur. This is really, we're talking huge things here, Brian, even bigger than what we were thinking potentially. There's now more information coming in involving even bigger things, if that makes sense. We'll chat soon, no doubt. All right, Brian, thanks very much, mate, for everything you're doing. Really appreciate it. God bless you. Bye. Hi, Brian. Sorry, just expanding on what I just said. So I've just moved locations. I think so. When I overheard that conversation between you and John and the connection that was made at that location to Ghislaine Maxwell, linking it all, and I think they probably murdered John Harris as a result of something that either that or the connections he had with all of it. And I think that's what triggered all of your problems. Because I'm getting loads of evidence now coming in, linking all of this with Edinburgh being Jerusalem, linking to ISIS and Egypt and the Stone of Destiny. We're talking a huge, huge deception against humanity, mate. It's massive. Mention of some sort of spiritual reasoning in all of this. Brian, I need to consider asking you a huge, huge favour. And I do suggest you come on the group call with us. But Julia, i.e. Madeleine, needs to be brought back over to having an open mind in relation to this. She is a key figure in this, and I need to have a conversation with you about it. I think you could assist in getting her back into having a more open mind in relation to this, because by chance, it's no coincidence, Brian, she's flying over to the UK today. That's the date that everything's, with the key information I told you about. She didn't even know about that until I told her, and she'd already had a flight booked. So there's something she probably needs to do. But I've lost her because she's being manipulated by Sean Atwood and John Wedger, and by all of the comments. So when they're negative comments, it diverts her away from the truth, because she's infiltrated so heavily on social media. So as soon as there's any mention of some sort of spiritual reasoning in all of this. They then comment, pulling her away from it. She's seeing the comments, and that is then pulling her away. But however, I think you could massively assist because of your background. I think you could pull her back in, potentially, because she loves the attention, you see. She's only 23, 22, whatever. So, Brian, I think you could be key in getting Julia, i.e. Madeline, back on board with this. And again, you need to have a very open mind with all of this. This is way bigger than any of us, Brian. It really is. God is guiding us without a shadow of a doubt, my friend.
So the girl that he's talking about, Julia, is the girl that is alleging that she's Madeleine McCann. She's not Madeleine McCann. Madeleine McCann died in that apartment, in that hotel. I've got my suspicions on how it's happened. Clearly, from what Gary Waterman's saying here, he is believing the abduction story. And I'm going to ring him now and try and get him away from it one more time. If he's reluctant and carries on with this, then I have no choice but to upload this video, because I'm coming under attack and being set up so that people tie me to believing that this girl is Madeleine McCann. Now, she's already in with some people that I don't like. John Wedger, Sean Atwood. Both of these people are grifters. John Wedger claims to be ex-Scotland Yard police. I have trouble believing it. And I feel that this guy could be a John Wedger Mark II. They're both claiming now to be Christian, both claiming to be ex-police, both turned into whistleblowers, except they're playing it off against one another now. I'm expected to believe that Gary Waterman is trying to get this Julia away from them, which is implying that he's not on their side. But my suspicion is that this is all coming from the same place, and I believe Ian Puddick is behind this, who works for the Royals, who already bought me equipment to go and film a fake Operation Fernbridge witness named Andrew Ash, who was going to name Prince Andrew. Now, why would you fund me equipment to go and film someone who's going to accuse your employer's brother, i.e. the King, and at the time, the Queen? So let's call him back and let's see how this goes, because he said some stuff that you think I'm way out there. This is what the kind of stuff that goes on around me. It's clearly entrapment, but let's dig a little bit further and see what he comes up with. Right, so this guy's not answering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it half hour, possibly an hour. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to ring him again. And we'll pick it up from there. But from now on, I'm going to be recording everything because I'm going to need to be able to back up everything that's going on around me, because this is just strange. You know, I came along years ago, got in contact with what I thought was an anti-child abuse activist, offered to help, offered to film, as I got 3 cameras. They were Canon 5Ds at the time, but now I've got Blackmagic cinema cameras, which I've accumulated over the years. And yeah, I offered to film his interviews because I believed in what he was doing, but I can see that these people still think that I'm stupid and can't see deception when it's thrown at me. He has said some very out there things. Now, he's playing on the fact that I'm Christian and want to do the right thing. This guy's claiming to be Christian, and in the conversation that I had yesterday, which is one of the things that I want to try and get him to talk about, he said that he wants to get me on a group chat, and he's claiming that one of these people on the group chat is the second coming of Jesus. Now, not that I don't believe that Jesus is coming again, but I doubt very much that he's on a group conversation with Gary Waterman on WhatsApp. So I just want to get that recorded, and some of the other stuff that he's saying with regards to Madeleine McCann. She's not alive. That girl is not her. Anyone can see that. So the deception that's coming at me, close to the release of this record as well, is all very strange. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to try and lure me out to somewhere around that date and sacrifice me. Sounds a bit out there, but when you're dealing with, Satanists, Freemasons who worship a Luciferian doctrine, this is what I try to explain to people with regards to the Liam Payne case and how deep things go because you've been involved in the music industry. So I'm going to come back to this conversation in half an hour to an hour. Hopefully he would have called back by then. I can call him back and we'll pick this conversation back up. So I'll see you in an hour, all right? All right, so I'm back from the bath. It's been about an hour, and we're ready to go again. We're ready to go again. I just got a bad feeling around all of this, and I need to put this to bed. Either these people think I am an absolute fucking idiot and will believe anything that I'm told, or this geezer's crazy. Anyone can see that girl, Julia, is not Madeleine McCann. And anyone that's looked into the story and the many documentaries that have been made can see what's going on there, really. The girl died in the apartment. In my opinion, my view, she was probably anaesthetised so the others could go out and eat to keep the kids asleep. Possibly happened the day before. And she's had an accident, hit her head maybe, fell off the back of the sofa, down the back of there, died. There was an half-hour window when Jerry McCann went back to the room the next day when the Tapas Niner sat round out of the restaurant. Come up with an elaborate plan to say that different members of the 9 of them were going back and checking on the kids and coming back. There was an half-hour window when Jerry went, and just enough time to get rid of the body, but claimed he started watching the football. I mean, you wouldn't do that for half. You wouldn't do that. You was having a meal, so that don't make no sense. But just enough time to go and get rid of the body. I believe he's a Mason, and that's why he got the help from PR spin doctors like Clarence Mitchell in the UK that are heavily tied into the intelligence services. So, do I believe this is Madeleine McCann? Absolutely not. So I'm going to call this Gary one more time. If he doesn't answer, I'm blocking him, and that's it. I'm putting this video up. So here we go.
Hey, Brian.
Gary.
Hello, mate. How are you?
All right, mate. So no nuclear attack yesterday.
No, thank goodness.
No. So what now?
Oh, you won't believe what information I'm getting, Brian. It's unreal. I mean, it's blowing my mind, to be honest with you.
Yeah, what's that?
Right, pinch of salt, mate. Pinch of salt, okay?
Right.
There's a lot of talk that this is even way bigger than just what's going on here on Earth.
Right.
Now, this is blowing my mind now, all right? But I've now got to start considering it because they're saying things.
Who are saying things?
So it's a person that started contacting me back in September.
Right.
We're just our group is just in the process of starting to look at what they're saying. Now, there's big events over the next 9 days. You've got the Notre Dame event. Are you aware of that today?
No, I'm not.
Right. So you've got Prince William. You've got Donald Trump. They're all going to France and meeting at the Notre Dame.
Right.
It's got to be significant because we know there's a spiritual significance in all of this because you've got the Vatican, Church of England, you've got all these people all connected to this, including Trump. They all link back into the same companies.
Well, I've always said I think that we're just being shown one big stage show here, like we spoke about the other day, Putin, Trump, different various countries that are supposed to be at war with each other. They're all in on it. They all know what they're doing. It's propaganda on the people to scare the people. That's what it is. Fear-mongering, anyone can see through that shit. Anyone, I do anyway. Like this, it's not. I'm not convinced by none of it.
No, I think there's even a lot more going. I think what I've said is bang on, but I think that it's even bigger than that. So what these people are now saying, they're saying absolutely 100% God is real. 100% they are certain God is real, but there's opposite entities that are at play here, which is obviously what I've been thinking anyway with Satan, etc. But they're saying what this is on a galactic level. It's not just an earthly level. Now, I wouldn't normally believe in that and think that, and I'd think, well, that's a deception, a distraction, pinch of salt. But they're now talking about linking that in with, they're making comments that suggesting Jerusalem is also, Edinburgh is Jerusalem. So they're saying the same things. And they're also saying about King Arthur. Well, over Edinburgh, you've got King Arthur's seat. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's on a hill there that overlooks Edinburgh.
Right.
So what they're suggesting, and again, it's pinch of salt at the moment, mate, they're suggesting that this is actually a galactic issue with God. Now, obviously, you're talking, again, pinch of salt, mate, but you've obviously noticed they're bringing in all this information about UFOs and stuff. As I'm exposing the fraud, the American government had these pilots disclose footage supposedly being UFOs, didn't they? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Right. So for some reason, this is all coming out, and this person is saying, Gary, as you're exposing your evidence, it's creating massive changes in the timeline of events, and everything is coming forward earlier than what it was meant to. So they've said even the farmer thing is linked to my evidence. As I've exposed my evidence, that farmer protest was implemented because of something that I had done. Some of the information I was giving out. Now, I know the information I've got is accurate because you can see it in all of my evidence. You can see the changes that are being publicised as I'm exposing it. You know, one big one was Companies House had never verified any names of people, but they came out on the 26th of October 2023 saying that they are going to be verifying some companies' details. Well, that must have been triggered by my disclosure because they had never done that since 1844. There's been no verification. So we know that what I'm doing is accurate and it's evidential. It's based on evidence. It's nothing. It's not what other people are telling me, really. None of it, really. All that's happening is some people are giving me information, but on that, I'm investigating it and it's verifying stuff and producing evidence which points.
Yeah, but who are these people, Gary? Because you say I'm talking to this person, I'm talking to that person. I mean, yesterday you told me you're talking to someone who claims to be the second coming of Jesus.
Yes.
Right. So what's that? What's that all about? I mean, do you believe that?
Mate, I'm trying to get my head around all of this, right? It's very difficult to discern the truth from the rubbish in this.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something that's not the truth. Did you talk to Julia?
Yeah, I actually believe you could be right.
Of course I'm right. Anyone can tell that that's not fucking Madeleine McCann. Madeleine McCann died in that hotel.
Well, hold on, Brian. There's only two options with her. Either she is... There's only two options. Either she is, and I've said this all along at the beginning, or she's been put there by the people behind all of this as a deception.
Yeah, but you were trying to get me to talk to her. So what would have happened to me if I'd have spoke to her? Do you see what I'm saying, Gary? This is what I'm saying. Like, you need to come better than this because you're a bit wish-washy with your stuff. Now you've completely backtracked on it. And now this Julia, I might be right. But yesterday, you're telling me that I need to have an open mind. Now, what would have happened to me if I'd have spoken to her and done what you asked? Can you imagine what would have fucking happened to me, Gary?
Well, I don't think anything would have happened to you.
Well, it would. It would. I'd be completely discredited. Completely discredited. Within phone hacking, within the rape of the band member, all of it. You know? And plus, I'd have been painted up, like years ago with the Andrew Ash situation, as someone who believes that this woman is Madeleine McCann when I've said from the beginning that I don't. But now, you've backtracked on it, and I might be right. Well, you were so sure yesterday. So let me ask you a question. Who are you doing this for?
God.
Ian Puddick has put you up to this.
No. Blimey, Brian, I can swear to you.
I'm telling you, mate, I know a setup when I see it, yeah? And the timing of it is unbelievable. So what's really going on here, Gary? Because to lay all of this on an ex-pop star who's registered sick with the government, what is the reason behind that? And who's put you up to doing it, Gary, is more to the point.
Okay, well, Brian, you're obviously not going to believe me, so there's not a lot I can do, is there, mate?
Well, you know, you're not very forthcoming with it, that's all. It's all a bit wishy-washy, and had I've gone out there with what you told me yesterday, I would be absolutely fucking destroyed. And now you've gone back on it.
Brian, I'm only telling you the truth, mate. I can't. What can I do to convince you other than I'm being guided by God?
Well, I think I'm being guided by God, and I think I can see deception when it's put in front of me. And I think you've been sent to deceive me by someone, and I think it's got something to do with Ian Puddick, because you came in on that. You came in on that one. What everything you're saying about Ian Puddick is right. He's linked to this. He's linked to that. You've done exactly what Gordon Bowden done to me back in 2018. I just want to ask you one more time.
Yeah.
Who's behind it? Who's putting you up to it? Is it Wedger? Is it Bill Maloney? Is it Ian Puddick? Is it the Royals? Is it the Royals?
Brian, as God is my witness, nobody is putting me up to anything. as God is my witness, who is my only guide, my divine salvation in all of this, nobody is putting me up to anything. I'm a man by myself in a van that's had to leave my home. I've lost my wife. I'm on the verge of losing my property. I'm giving up everything for this. I even have offered my life.
Yeah, but why would you do that?
Because I believed it was the right thing to do.
Why? Why is that the right thing to do? Why would they want to sacrifice you? Well, you know, you're not a 2-year-old prepubescent child. That's what they like.
I don't know, Brian. It felt like the right thing to say at the time.
It sounds a bit strange. It sounds a bit strange to me, and I feel like I'm being led into something as we're leading up to the release of this record, and I think there's something you're not telling me.
I promise. Okay, Brian. Well, I can't change. If that's what you're certain of, I can't change that other than telling you the truth, can I?
Well, it doesn't sound like the truth to me, Gary. You know, especially when you're telling me that I can speak to the second coming of Jesus Christ on a WhatsApp call. You know,
Brian,
you've got to know what that sounds like, Gary. And you were so sold on this bird being Madeleine McCann yesterday, and today you've completely backtracked. To me, that's not a good sign.
okay,
So
well,
whoever it is that sent you to do this to me, you can tell them from me, it ain't gonna fucking work.
Okay, Brian. Well, I can't say anything else, can I, other than tell you?
Not really. Not really. I know when I'm being set up, Gary. I've had plenty of time to work it out. And for all I know, you could be another John Wedger coming at me on another angle, because another ex-police officer whistleblower who claims to be a Christian, who's got all the answers, it just seems like a repeat of Ian Puddick again to me. That's what it feels like. If I'm wrong, then I'm sorry about that. But
Brian, you are wrong, I promise you.
from my perspective, it's not good.
Brian, ask yourself, why am I producing evidence against John Wedger being linked to international child trafficking?
We'll put it up then. Put it up then, because I've not seen anything. All I've heard is chat, Gary. All I've heard is chat. This quickly links into this. This quickly links into that. The information is very, very hard to follow. As the two other coppers that you went onto a live stream with said, it's very hard to follow. You end up having to take your word for it, right?
Hey, Brian, the evidence is there in documents that people can go and check the evidence.
Well, that's money. That's fraud. That's different. The stuff that you're talking about is different to that. We're talking about the second coming of Jesus. We're talking about Edinburgh being Jerusalem. We're talking about Julia being Madeleine McCann, who's highly linked into John Wedger and Sean Atwood, who I've got nothing but fucking grief with. To me, feels like a setup, Gary.
I understand, but you're saying that I've been sent to set you up. But look at what I'm doing. I'm producing the verifiable evidence.
So was Gordon Bowden. Yeah, but he was still Puddick's mate, wasn't he? It means nothing. It means nothing.
Okay, Brian, then nothing I say is going to help you, is it?
I don't think you've been sent to help me.
Okay, Brian. Well, I can't do any more than I am, mate, can I? I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to do with all of this information. I mean,
I don't know, Brian. I actually don't know. If I'm being honest with you, all I know is I'm being guided, I believe, by God to change what may be about to happen.
Well, God ain't guiding you very well if you think that Julia is Madeleine McCann. I'll tell you that now.
Well, like I said, Brian, there's only two options. She's either been put there and positioned by people involved, or she is Madeleine McCann.
She ain't Madeleine McCann.
Okay, then she's been positioned and they've set the Company's House records up to make it look like she is. To deceive me. Because at the moment, all of the evidence did look like it. Until you said what you said yesterday, which then tied in with a load of other chain of events.
Like what? Like what?
Loads. So oh my goodness, there's so much going on, Brian. I've been in touch with. We're on a group call, and there's so much information coming in.
Yeah, you're on a group call with Jesus. Yeah.
Someone claiming to be. Okay.
And you believe that?
I can't discount someone saying that if they're coming up with information live on a phone call that then leads me to find more evidence, which is critical.
And did they give you? And did they give you the evidence about Julia?
No. That was from someone else completely. That came from loads of different sources.
Yeah.
That's a completely different person.
I think there's something going on here, Gary.
Okay, Brian, that's fine. I can't do anything else, mate, other than tell you the truth. That's all, mate.
All right.
All right, mate. You know where I am, all right?
All right.
Take care, mate.
Cheers,
Bye.
mate. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I think I'll leave it there.